Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, no, I didn't get any text because that was. Oh yeah, yeah, I saw. Yes, I did see that. That came through. Okay, so can you see my screen? All right, let me try again. Okay, it's showing up on my screen, like on my side. Um, let's see if this works here. I've got it up on that Aztec Secret Amazon page is where it's set to. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay. All right. All right. So we'll get to your questions here. Okay. Okay. So um, you go ahead. I got the gist of what you had put in your list of things to talk about today. So I'll let you go ahead and talk. You just talk me through reviewing your beauty bundle and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. And this one I'm looking at, is this the one that you did? No, this was the other one. Yeah, let me do a search because yeah, I don't see. Yeah, yeah, it just took me straight to it. So let me go. Did you use the word bundle in yours? Clay mask. Nope, it didn't come up that way. Let me try. Okay, does yours have a like a zippered pouch? Okay, I see it. Okay, your the close-up pictures are really good. The the main photo um it's good when you click on zoom, then you can see it pretty good. The but the main photo just when you first get on the page, it looks a little it's a little bit small. So what you may want to do is check the size of the photo, or I don't know how, you know, what kind of software you have, but it's probably a little bit small. Let me see if I can, I'll save the image and then I can tell what size it is. Because Amazon has a specific size that they recommend in order for it to really, you know, to really show up good. And we can go and find what that is just by looking at, you know how to do that. You just go look at other people's, you know, go look at a really good photo, download it to your computer, and then once you click on the picture, you can right click the photo and ask and look at the properties of the photo, and it'll tell you what size it is. What you would do is somehow make it bigger. Right now, that photo that's uploaded right now, it says it's 522 by 392. That's the size of the photo. It needs to be about double that. So whatever photo editing software you have, or the original picture you took should be much larger. Something, it was either your photo editing software, something reduced that size down. Because when you first, go ahead. Okay, yes, yeah, yeah. So you need to get a big. It needs to be twice that size. Um, and then it'll. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So once you get the new one, all you have to do is go in and edit, and you'll remove where it's the main image. You'll just remove it, and then you'll add, you know, your bigger one back again. Yeah. So they probably just sent you. They probably reduced it down, but it needs to be twice that size. And then it'll show up because you want it to show up when you're searching. Okay, you see how if I search, do you see how this is even in this little thumbnail? You see how this product here is really nice and big. You can see the details even right here without even. Oh, you don't see my screen? Hmm. I wonder if there's a delay. All right, let me reshare. Do you see it now? Okay. Well, it'll be on the recording at least. You may have to go. Okay. Okay. All right. So if you look at, okay, so here's yours, and you can see it's kind of difficult to see the details of it. And you see how like even this tiny bottle here is really big. Like this tiny bottle looks bigger than your brag. So yeah, so that's why you want this to be a much larger picture. Okay, so I'm going to go back into it so we can look at the wording. Your title looks good. Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that? Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it tells you how many are there. No, I think it's good. I think everything you've got on here is really good. Yeah, so it just means that there's one additional one. It will only show thumbnails of the first 6. Or No, it looks like 7. So it'll show thumbnail. So this is the one that they have to click on to see the, to see the detail of this one. Yep. No, I think that's good. And so I think once you fix your price and then use the advertising campaign so that it will start showing up in front of people. That way, anytime you will start to get organic searches just based on keyword, um, but advertising will get it moving quicker because yeah, the PPC. Have you used it before? Okay. All right. So I'll show you real quick how to do it. It's pretty easy. Um, you can just go to you pull up your particular item that you when you're in your manage inventory. So you pull up your listing for the brag. Let me do it with one of mine here and see. Okay. All right. So we'll pretend that this is your brag here. You click the box in front of it. And then up here you say, and you can do this with multiples. Like for example, I just did I did my back to school stuff. Like I just like click, 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 click. Like I just pulled up everything that was my back to school stuff. Uh, and I did one ad campaign for all back to school because the keywords are all related. It doesn't matter if they're buying, this Paw Patrol backpack or if they're buying the Paw Patrol folders. It doesn't matter. I just wanted everything in one campaign. So for going forward, like let's say that you end up with more than one brag listing, like you have this one bundle, and let's say you do a second bundle of maybe just the brag and the mask only. Like you could call that a refill kit because when people buy this kit, it's a one-time deal. Each customer is going to buy this one time probably, unless they buy it for a gift. Because once they buy this, they don't need the whole bundle anymore because they don't need another case. They probably won't need another brush. So what you want to do is you want to have a refill kit. So it'll be almost identical to this, but just with the refillable parts. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So when you have both of those, you can put them both in. So if you had both, you would just click both listings to do one ad campaign. Okay. Okay. But for right now, you just have the one. So you select it, and then up here where it says action on one selected, you're going to go down here to advertise the listing. Now, in your case, you're not going to choose a campaign. This is if you have them. Like I have a whole bunch of campaigns already set up because I've been using it for a while. Um, but in your case, you're going to create a new campaign. Campaign name. This is just for you to identify. So in your case, you're going to call it the Brag Play Kit, or something, just so you know what it is. Here, you set your daily budget, and what this means is what's the maximum amount you want to spend per day on clicks. Now, clicks are going to cost you approximately 3 to 5 cents. So if they are, and we're going to put a limit on it to where you're never going to pay more than like 5 cents per click. So at 5 cents per click, that's like 100 clicks a day, so which is more than enough. So you can I usually just put $1 because I don't want to spend more than $1 per day because that's like 30 bucks a month, and I never ever ever have hit that. So $1 is perfectly sufficient. Your start date is of course today, and then you can choose to end it or not. The only time I use the end date is if it's seasonal, like my back to school stuff. I did put an end date on that for, I think it was the end of September, because it's seasonal, and it's like I don't really want to pay to advertise that stuff. It should be gone by then. And if not, I'm not going to keep paying for advertising, or I'll just reassess at that time. But in your case, since this is an evergreen bundle, you don't even need an end date. Just leave it open-ended. Now, there are two ways to get your keywords. targeted. Um, and this explains it here. If in the automatic targeting, it says Amazon will target your ads to all relevant customer searches based on your product information. What that means is all that work you just did, putting keywords and getting a good description, all that's going to count for keywords if you let Amazon pull those in. And so I feel like automatic targeting is the best way to go. Manual targeting just means you have to re-add in every single one of those keywords. But since you already did it, I don't think it's necessary for you to do manual targeting. So you just click on automatic targeting and continue. This ad group name, I always leave it as the default. I don't do such complicated stuff that I have to name a subgroup. That's like for really complicated campaigns, which I don't do. And this is only for you. It's only your internal name. And then the default bid is 0.05 because that's the suggested minimum. It's what I use every time, and it works just fine. And then we click Save and Finish, and you're done. So now I'm going to show you where you can go look at your campaign once you've done it from this screen. Then you can go up to the top here at Advertising, and then you can click Campaign Manager. And so you'll see here's the one we just created. And you can see as you do these more and more, you can see, I've got some that have ended already, some that are still running, so on and so forth. So to see the details of it, and on this screen here, this campaign manager, as time goes by, you're going to start to see, the results. So for example, on my, I have a running, it's called Loot Crate. So it shows me here that so far on this campaign, it started on August the 7th, and I've spent 47 cents. And if you look down here, you can see that I haven't spent a whole lot of money. We're talking pennies for all these different ads I've run. And then it'll show you any sale that was a direct result. So for example, this renews it. I spent 12 cents and I made sales of $9.99. Okay, so this just kind of gives you an overview of how effective it is. Now, sometimes it'll say no sales, that you've paid and there's no sales, but it's not always true. Like a lot of times I do get sales, and I'm pretty sure it's from people clicking to get to my page, and the reason I know that is because I put all brand new pages up here. Like I have I had a whole set of file folders, brand new pages, and it's my own private label brand that nobody else is selling them. And those things were not coming up in search at all until I put them on ad campaigns. And then I started getting sales, but it didn't necessarily show here. I just knew that I got sales. All right. So it doesn't end until I end it. I mean, I can go in and end it whenever I want to. Okay. And you can do that. I'll show you where you can do it. Okay. Right here, this little green button, the go button means it's an active ad campaign. You can click the little arrows and you can pause it, meaning it'll just kind of stop it. Or you could archive it. Archiving means it gets rid of it off of your screen here. All right, so if we go look at the campaign itself, here's where that ad group 1 thing came in, which that was just default. In this page, it's going to show you how many times it has shown up, like how many impressions and how many clicks you've gotten and so forth. And then we can drill down one more time in ad group and see the actual product. And when it's just one, it you can't see the importance, but I'm going to show you one of the other campaigns. Let me show you the school one, because the school one had more than, let's see. Okay, so this one, I just sold these map pens. Like I just made a sale like a couple days ago. Um, and it tells you right here, I've had 571 impressions. So what that means is that every time it shows up somewhere on Amazon, I don't get charged. I only get charged if somebody actually clicks on the ad. So even though it showed up 571 times, only 5 clicks. There were only 5 clicks. And yeah, and I spent 16 cents on those 5 clicks. Okay, which is what, like 3 cents? Um, because you don't, just because you say that just because you say you're willing to pay 5 cents a click, you won't always pay 5 cents. Sometimes it's less. It's a very complicated metric, but anyway, you'll pay 5 cents or less. Now it says no sales here for me, but I don't believe it, because those map pens have been sitting in the warehouse now for like 6 months and they haven't moved. And I put it on an ad campaign and all of a sudden I got a sale. So I just don't believe this. So I'm just telling you this so that don't think, oh my gosh, I'm got this ad going. I'm not, and no sales were generated. If you start generating sales, count it as the ad. It most likely is. Okay. All right, so that's how you can advertise it. So that'll get things moving. And then here's the thing. When you start advertising it and you start to get sales, then it's going to start getting ranked. You're going to have a rank on it in health and beauty. And once that rank starts dropping, it'll drop every time there's a sale, then organic search takes over. That's when your keywords become important. In the very beginning, you can have the best keywords on the planet. But until you make the sale, you're like way down the ladder. Like you're not going to be up toward the top. Like you could see here when we say apple cider vinegar clay mask, all those keywords. Okay, here's what comes up in the top. This is organic search based on keywords. Now, every one of these keywords are in your listing and title, and yet we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're number 10. But once you start to get sales, you will move. Huh? This one? Yeah. Yeah, the other one's way up here, and it's because they have reviews. See here, all these reviews, and they have a sales rank. So even though your pages are almost identical, they're going to show up first because they're ranked down here. And you will get there as soon as you make sales. And that's why it's important to advertise so that you can get those sales going. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, and you may want to, decide how you want to do it. It's based on your margin. When you're selling retail items, you just want to make the sale. Period. You want to be competitive and make the sale. When you're doing a private label or a new bundle, you want to price 2 different ways. The first time when you first get it in there, you want to get your price a little bit lower, because even if you're not making very much, now don't lose money, but you don't have to make a whole lot of money off of it. If you're just getting your money back, it's fine, because in the beginning you want to get ranked. That's the goal. So lower your price to get the sales moving, and then put it on your calendar to, or say, okay, after I sell these first 6 at this price, I'm going to go ahead and send the next ones in, and then you're going to increase your price, like maybe by 10%. like incrementally increase it, because you want to keep sales going, and slowly increase your price until you stop getting sales. And then when the sales start to slow down, you'll know that you hit the top of the price level, like you hit the ceiling. Like that's how you figure out. It's called finding the sweet spot on your pricing. That's how you do it. Yeah. Or take your what do you know what's your cost in it? $30? Okay, and then so then you've got your, and then figure in your Amazon fees. Yeah, so whatever your cost plus Amazon fees, start there. Now here's another thing I want to show you. Do you see here where it says the price is $39.98, but it's on sale? Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. You can set yours up to look exactly like this. The way you do that is you go and you edit. Let me get one here to show you. All right, let's do this one. On your manage inventory page, it's right here. Okay. So in this case, mine is $6.77. That's going to be the fee. And let's say that my cost on this guy, I think it was like he was artificially low. He was like $5. So my total is 11.77 because I'm going to pay Amazon 6.77 plus he cost me $5. So 11.77, that's like the lowest point I can go without losing money. Ignore that. They're just telling you your FBA fulfillment fees 302. The additional is the regular commission. So it's yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you lower the price, this is gonna come down. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put this guy on sale. So when you go in here, it'll take you to your offer page. Okay, and it shows here, here's your price, $24.99, and we're going to put him on sale. So and you would do the same thing. So you're going to set your sale price. So you go higher. This is high, and you want this to be the high price. Your sale price is going to be the price you actually want to sell it for. So if it's going to be, if you had decided $39 was what you wanted to actually sell it for, then make your price here $49.98 or 99, and then your sale price would be the $39.99. So you artificially inflate the price, the suggested retail price, in order to make the sale price look good and be what you really want to get out of it. Okay, so I'm going to do it with this guy because I actually can bring him down. He's kind of high priced right now. Okay, so the sales start date, we're going to start today. And then I suggest, now when you do a sale, I suggest you always put an end date. Because you want to test, you want to see, did it work? Did I make sales at that price? And you don't want it to be on sale forever, because eventually you want to make more money. So give it, I usually give my sales a couple weeks so I can see what happens with them. Okay, and so then you save and finish. Now it'll take a few minutes and we'll go look at him in a minute. But then, and I'll show you how it changed, what it looks like. If we go look at him right now, yeah, that's the place. Yeah, that's the place you edit. And once you do that, you see this green box? Okay, that tells me it's on sale, that I have a sale price. Mhm. If you can change a price right here, like I could change this if I wanted to. I could just simply change my price and save it. But that changes the price that shows up. Meaning, yeah, because you want the word sale. Because like if I just change the price like on this one, that one's actually a bad one because that's collectible. You won't be able to see that one. I got to find one that's in stock here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so this is just a regular price. It says price $27.99. When it's a sale price, it says sale $19.95. Do you see the difference? That's why that word sale, it's a marketing thing. You want people to go, oh my gosh, it's on sale. Okay. Okay, so any other questions on your bundle? That is correct. And then you put it on sale. And that way it'll look just like this one. And then the it'll also in health and beauty, it didn't do it on my other page, but it should do it on yours. Yours will look exactly like this. It'll say price $49.99 with a line through it. Then it'll say sale price $39.99, and then it'll say you save $10, and then it'll give a percentage. And that so you want it to look like that. Okay. Okay, so we reviewed the beauty bundle. Um, okay, let's this review of SC listing. What does SC mean? I'm looking at your email. Oh, Seller Central. Okay. I said, say, do you use templates in Seller Central to respond to customers? Um, I don't, only because I very rarely get any customer messages. I mean, maybe one a month. So, huh? So that's why I don't have templates. I just do it, right off the cuff. Now, of course, if you find that you have lots of, if you start getting lots of inquiries, um, you can always just save. You can save the response. Like I do have responses saved though for like when I request for Seller Central help when I'm requesting a refund on something. Um, then I do have templates for that, to say, this item was refunded to a customer. However, they never returned the item. Will you please verify and reimburse me accordingly? Like those I save, and I just save them on my computer. Like I have a folder called forms, and I have those forms saved just so I don't have to retype it over and over again. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah. So when I go to let me get the file. I'll show you. All right, so I have a folder called Amazon Monthly Transaction Reports, and this is where I keep all my stuff that I use for reconciling and checking my inventory and so forth. Okay, so I have this folder called Form Letters, Amazon Help. And so because once a month, I reconcile my inventory for damaged items, um, things that the warehouse damaged and so forth. So when I'm getting ready to do that every month, I just open this folder and then I have all my different templates. So this one, for example, explains it's pretty simple. Upon reconciling, I found this item was destroyed. There's no record of reimbursement, etc. So I just copy and paste and copy and paste. I usually don't worry about I don't worry about templates unless it's something that I find that I have to keep typing over and over and over again. Okay, so that's that one. See, should we delete products we never had in inventory? Um, uh, yes, if you never had any inventory on a particular thing, yes, you should delete it. Yeah, yeah. The one thing to be aware of though is don't delete stuff until you reconcile. Um, so, for example, um, let me just get to something that's inactive here. If you know you never had it in stock, then go ahead and delete. Yes, go ahead and delete it. But if it's just an old listing, like let's just say, all right, what I did is I just clicked my date created to pull my old stuff up. Like I still have some really old things in here, some really old inactive items that, they've just been here forever. um, and the reason they're still here is either I didn't reconcile them yet, or um, it's something that it's something that I may or I do replenish. So, for example, this got to be beach trippin' wave spray. This is an old listing. I originally started selling this back in 2013, but I still sell this from time to time. When it goes on sale at the pharmacy, which my Rite Aid will put this on sale, and I have coupons for it, I'll buy it and sell it. So I don't sell it all the time, but I do. But I keep it here all the time because when they will every single year, 2 or 3 times a year, it goes on sale, and I have a coupon, so I just keep it. Now, something like this Disney Bugs Life, this was a one-shot deal. I'll never probably sell this again because I just found it at a thrift store. So in this case, I want to delete this, but before I delete it, I want to double check and make sure that there were no returns, refunds, damages, things like that. So you want to make sure you do your reconciliation first before you start deleting stuff. Yeah. Because once you delete it, then you don't have a record. It's very difficult to go back. I mean, you could go back through Inventory Lab to do it, but it's much easier to do it right off your manage inventory screen. Okay. Now, like this guy, I'm just going to I'm going to go ahead and delete him because I know for sure I sold him like a long time ago and I just missed him. So yeah, you just select, and if there was more than one, if you want to get rid of more than one, like I'm going to get rid of this one too. You can select everything you want to delete, go to Action, and delete product and listing. Now there's another, just as a note, there's one called Close Listings. The only thing it does is it'll show close. Like if you select Close, they'll still be here, but you can see this one here. It says inactive closed. Now, honestly, I don't know the difference other than it still stays here in your inventory, and I don't know what is the difference really between having a closed item and having an out of stock item, other than this could potentially save you from any kind of issues. For example, let's just say that there was a recall on gazebo room dressing. The FDA put out a recall. If this is closed, I probably will not get one of those letters from Amazon saying you're in violation because this is a, this has been recalled, because you'll get those even if you don't have stock. You will get those kind of letters from Amazon if you have something listed in your inventory as an out of stock item. But if it's closed, I can't say for sure, because I was never able to quantifiably test it. But I had read it somewhere and I tried it out, and I think that's what it does. That's the difference. Okay. But if you just want to get rid of it and not look at it anymore on here, you just delete it. And I do. I mean, I do go through here. It doesn't seem like it because I've got like over 2,000 items in here. It doesn't seem like I delete much, but I really do, because I've had over the years, I've had over 5,000 products that I've sold, like over 5,000 different kinds of things I've sold in the last 5 years. So, okay, so that's that one. Um, Remove anchor from variation listings. Okay, explain that to me. I'm not quite sure what that means. Okay, yeah, if you're not sure, I wouldn't do it. Okay, okay. And then your Quaker oats, you sold out, but not sure if it's profitable. So talk to me about that one. Okay. Did you check it in Inventory Lab? Yeah. So what? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because if you go to I'll let me just do it real quick so you know where to go. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the easiest way. So if you go to and you should be doing this anyway on a regular basis. I pull this report every single month, and you should do the same thing. Under reports, you need to look at your ASIN profitability report. You've heard that before, haven't you? Okay. Um, and then once you get it, you can do it. Initially, you need to probably do it for 3 months. Um, so that's, you go here to advanced search and you do 3 months. You can do 6 months, or you can do all. Um, and you want to go, if you've been selling something for a while, you do want to go back further, like more than just 30 days, or if you go back 30 days, that's really only to figure out what you're out of stock on, like what do you need to replenish. But if you're trying to figure out profitability of certain items, you really need a 6-month report. Okay. So once you're here, you can either search, you can just pull up the particular item you're looking for. Um, or you can also sort. One of the things I like to do is I like to sort by supplier. Now, some of these are not going to have a supplier for me, but okay, this way it groups everything. So if I wanted to look at Walmart.com to see, okay, well, what did I get at Walmart.com that was profitable? It's all right here in one spot. And then over here, it's going to show you what your return, you're looking at the return on investment. That's what's important. Okay. If it's like this one, 25%, for me, that is like very minimal. Like that is like the rock bottom. Um, unless this pound puppies, unless I could sell like a ton of it and I could get a bunch of them, I'm not going to bother with this one again, because 25% is not enough. I want, my minimum is 50%. Like that's the minimum I want. Now, sometimes you have to take less than that, but for me to repurchase something, I'm only going with the stuff that's 50% or higher. Okay. Unless, like I said, unless you can do a big volume, like, volume, if I could sell 5 of these at 50%, Or let's say that this particular, that's the poodle, but let's say that the Labrador, let's say I could sell, even though I get 25%, let's say that I could sell in the same period of time, instead of 5, I was able to sell 12 or 15 in that. And this is something you have to figure out based on the length of time, that it takes to sell. Um, but anyway, if I could sell 5 at 50% or I could sell 12 at 25%, then I may go ahead and I'll probably go with the lower margin. I'd rather sell 12 in a 30-day period at 25% margin than only 5 at 50. You see what I mean? Because you're going to make more money. Here my profit was $25, but if I could do 5 times this amount here, 5 times $7, that's $35. So I'd rather have $35 in my pocket as opposed to $25. Does that make sense? Okay. So you have to determine, what are your rules? What's your minimum you're going to accept? And if you know your rules ahead of time, it makes the decisions a lot easier. So for on the Quaker, you know, you tell yourself, okay, 30% is it that, I'm not going past 30%. And if it doesn't meet 30%, you're not doing it, period. And you'll get a sense of it too, that's why it's important to look at this report all the time. This gives you a sense of where should you be putting your money. What stores are the best, or what sources, what kinds of things are the best, is it grocery, is it toy? It really gives you an overview because it's, you might remember, because sometimes when you buy a lot of something, um, you go, oh man, I sold, like a whole bunch of these things. And you may feel like you made a ton of money, based on the volume of it. I'm just trying to find something with a higher volume. My one high volume was a high ROI too. Oh no, here's one. Okay, so yeah, well, this one. Okay, I sold 5 of those. So, and I remember those like flying out the door going, woohoo! And it was 50%, and that's not bad. Now this one was flying out the door too. These sold super, super fast, but it was a back to school bundle. And my margin was 131%. This guy gets a gold star. This is one I'm going to make note of. Now, if I had the time, if back to school season was long enough, I would absolutely be getting more of these. In this case, there's not enough time. However, this will go in this is going to go as a note for next year for back to school. I'm going to repeat this. For, yeah. Yeah, it was $2. Yeah. This was folders. These were portfolio folders, and I bought them for 50 cents a piece on clearance. And in this case, I'll just tell you how this one worked. I bought these last year after school, after the back to school season was over. Now, I don't do that a lot. I don't usually go buy a whole bunch of clearance that I know I have to hold for a whole year. Normally, I don't. In this case, I did. Last year, I did because they were all 50 cents. And I knew, based on experience, that these kinds of things go really well. So this year, I had them all, and I bought quite a few things. I spent probably, $40 or $50 last year after the back to school season on different characters, lots of different file folders and stuff like that. So this year, and I put them all into a tub and I marked them, and I put my bundles together, back in the 1st of July. So this is the kind of thing that went, and in fact, these were the best sellers. These bundles of file, I did all sorts of bundles. I did bundles with like glue and pencils and all sorts of things. The ones that overall did the very best were the file folders, and they were my highest profit items. But but again, you're not going to know this kind of stuff unless you look at this report. Okay, it's really important. Okay, so that's that one. Okay. Before we talk about t-shirts, let's talk real quick about the long-term storage fee. Um, you need to get rid of some stuff. um, I'll tell you, let me show you how I decide. You have to, so basically that involves decisions. And let me walk you through some decisions. Like, how do you make the decision on what to do with this stuff? Now, I don't know where you were looking for your long-term storage. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. This is pretty new. Right now, I like going to I used to download spreadsheets from the reports area, but now they're on this inventory dashboard. If you go there, Amazon has finally gotten themselves together and gave us an easy way to do it. So right now, this is my thing here. It says 23 units will incur these fees on August the 15th. So I'm going to go view my units. Okay. So now, this is going to tell me what my estimated fee is by item. Okay, and they put the highest at the top. So this particular one is going to cost me the most, $4.23. Now, in this case, mine, this report is slightly delayed. Okay, it says I still have 2 available, but that's not true. Over here, it says I'm out of stock, and that's actually correct because these, let's go double check to make sure. Okay, yeah, you see they're reserved. So those actually I don't have anymore. So this report it's not up to the minute, but it's a good place to start, to look at everything, and you got to prioritize anything that the things that are going to cost you the most is what you need to make some decisions on. If something like this down here, I have this pen, it's going to cost me 7 cents to keep it. I'm just going to leave it here because this is the kind of thing it's going to sell during fourth quarter, and the price is going to go up. I've been holding out my price because it's already like way low because of competition. It was Amazon who came in on this one. But last year when I bought this was, or earlier this year, whenever it was, this was selling for like twice this much. Almost 3 times this much. But Amazon has come in and tanked the price. So I'm going to just wait it out. So it's going to cost me 7 cents to do so. No big deal. Okay. But I wasn't willing to wait out this one and pay for, even though $4 isn't a whole lot of money. I still just didn't want to do it. So I lowered the price and got rid of it. So that's what you have to decide. Like, where's your break even point? Like, how much are you willing to spend? I'm willing to spend $1 or less to keep stuff in stock. If I feel like it's going to sell and it just needs, if it's like a seasonal thing. So for example, this is a back to school bundle. I actually this was one I did last year and I still had one in stock. Like, I didn't completely sell out last year. I still had one left, but I replenished this year because it did sell well last year. But it just stopped, when back to school ended, so did the sales, and that was it. So I left it there all year long waiting for back to school this year. So I'm hoping it's going to sell again like it did last year, but it may take another month or so. So I'm going to pay the 96 cents to let it stay. Okay. It says 96 for 1 unit. Like, it'll show you if you hover over it, says you have a 6-month storage fee of 96 cents for 1 unit. So yeah, it's $1. It's going to add $1 to the cost of my bundle. But in this case, my bundle cost me $3.50. And the reason I know it is because I have it coded into my MSKU here. It says CG 350. So I know I paid 350 for this. If I add one more dollar, that means it's $4.50 for that one item. And I'm going to sell it for $9.97. So it's still okay. I'll still come out okay with it. Now, Littlest Pet Shop, this is going to stay because this is going to go in Q4. The price will come back up. It's again artificially low right now, but it's going to come back up again for because it's and you can't see the ranks here, but if you go look at the item, you can sort of determine um, based on your traditional product research. Like what was the history of this? If you look at camel, 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 um, this is Amazon. They came in and they lowered the price really low. But you can see that it's got a good rank. It sells quite a bit. It sells fast. And during fourth quarter, this is one of those items that's going to go out of stock. And since it's last year's model, the price will go up. So therefore, I'm going to leave it. Now, these file folders here, I'm letting them hang out for another day, but probably this afternoon. I'm going to dump these. I sent these in. They've been there, they've been there over 6 months. And these particular ones have not sold. And I've advertised them. I've got a low price. I've done everything, and they just aren't going to sell. So I'm just going to get rid of them. I'm just going to remove them and dispose of them. Okay, because in this case, there's just no hope. Like it's just nothing. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do with them. Same thing with these manila file folders. This is hope. These are hopeless. I have like 40 different kinds of file folders that I'm selling right now. Some do awesome and some don't. And this is one that doesn't. So I'm just going to get rid of it. Well, you have the choice. We'll go ahead and do this one and I'll show you. Okay, so if you create the removal order, you can either have it returned to you, and right now you can have everything returned to you for free, meaning it doesn't cost you anything to have them sent back to you. No, a lot of times I will have products sent back to me and I'll just hold on to it. But only in this particular case, my cost on these is like pennies. Like I didn't pay. I got these for pennies on the dollar. So I'm not worried about my cost. And I don't want to deal with them because I still have hundreds of file folders in my workspace. And I just don't even want to see them. I want them to be gone. So you have a choice of returning them, disposing of them, meaning you just get rid of them, or there's actually a new thing called liquidate. This is brand new this year. I did a couple liquidations to see what happens, and I haven't got anything back. I don't know yet, how much money I'm going to get, but I'm going to go ahead and choose liquidation because if I'm going to just dump them and get rid of them, I might as well liquidate them and maybe I'll get a buck or two. They're basically going to sell this off to a liquidation broker for you. So I'm just going to go ahead. I decided to just do liquidation and be done with it for anything I don't want back. Now, if you have the last scenario is if you have items that let me get back there. If you have items that you still think have potential, just not right now, and you don't want it, let's just say, okay, so I have these lunch boxes here. Okay, these Disney, this is a good product. It's a Disney, Frozen. It's very popular. But for some reason, I just couldn't get these sold. I don't know why, but they just wouldn't sell. And we've almost finished back to school. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's wrong now. They sold now. Now it's inactive. But anyway, let's talk about this one here. Okay, this one, I got these last year and sent them in for fourth quarter because it's a nice little gift basket set. Gift basket sets usually sell. I got this same brand of gift baskets in 3 or 4 different scents. Like this was cherry blossom. I had lavender, French vanilla, all different ones. Everything sold except this one. The cherry blossom didn't sell. I have no idea why. I have a feeling there's something wrong with the listing, or everything looks okay. I mean, it's in the right category. I just don't know why it didn't sell. Um, it doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring them back. These I'm bringing back to me because I am not willing. They cost me $10 a piece. I have 5 of them. That's $50, and I'm not willing to pay the fee right now just because there's just something wrong with the page or something, because I can't get them sold to save my life. And since I sold this, in other scents, I can't believe that people just hate cherry blossom because that's a pretty popular scent. So I'm going to bring them back and I'm going to do a whole new product page on them. And that's the one way around it. If I do a brand new product page, I can send them right back in again. Yeah, yeah. So I'll take these back, and then instead of listing against this ASIN, I will just create a brand new product page. The other option, of course, is you can, in my case, sometimes I'll just sell stuff on eBay. Like if these hadn't sold, my next step was I was going to return them to me and then put them up on eBay. Okay, so that's the decision tree. Like that, those are the scenarios, and you have to kind of decide what ultimately do you want to do. Um, don't be afraid to dump stuff though. If you don't have a whole lot of money in it, um, it's just not worth your time and effort. Just get rid of it. Just don't have unless you really feel like there's a chance you're going to sell it for a good profit later on. Um, don't don't bring it back to you. Don't have it sent back because it's just going to clutter up your area. It takes up space you don't need, and it's just one more thing to deal with. Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, and so in that case, you have to decide: is it, you know, do you think eventually will the price come back up? Like, is it seasonal? Is it going to become a hot item later on? You know, it just depends on what you think is going to happen with it. And if you, like I said, now like last year during long-term storage, I had I always seem to have back to school stuff. Like because the timing is always right, right as we come up to this cutoff, August 15th. I always seem to have back to school bundles and stuff from last year that didn't sell in time. So I always return those to myself, always. And then I hang on to them till next year. And I send them right back in again, either as is or I just redo the bundles somehow. Depends on if I sold any at all. Like these 2 bundles right here, I can tell you these 2 bundles were total duds. They just didn't sell at all. Um, and I brought some back and I sent them in recently, and I haven't sold any yet. Again, so the bundles are just bad. Period. So I will still bring them back, but I'll just have to rework them. Okay, so that's it on long-term storage. Now, do you still have time to talk about t-shirts? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you still hear me? Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Okay, so on the t-shirts, so explain that to me. Do you use the work t-shirt in your titles? Oh, word. Okay. Yes, I do put t-shirt in my title. And then have I used Pinterest to market my shirts? Um, I have not used Pinterest for my shirts. Um, I have pinned them on Facebook. Like I've promoted them through I have promoted my t-shirts through my husband's Facebook account because so a lot of my shirts are for school bus drivers because my husband is a school bus driver. And so he is connected with a whole bunch of school bus drivers on Facebook. So I've used his account to promote, but Pinterest, Pinterest would be the same concept. And yeah, I say absolutely. I personally haven't done it, but yeah, I'd say go for it. Absolutely. It's free. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing with the keywords. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who they have training on it and there's books and people have all these opinions. Um, I know keywords are important and you need them, but there is still not an nobody actually really knows how it works. It's sort of like the sales rank. None of I mean on the buy box. People can say, "Oh, you need to do this and you need to do this," and we know some things that help us get the buy box, but there's still no absolute certain answer, on how do you get the buy box. Because if you watch, it certainly isn't always the lowest price. I've been priced 20% lower than other sellers and still didn't get the buy box. So it's obviously not about price. I've been 20% higher than other sellers and I did get the buy box. So, it's one of those things that you can do. That's why I always say follow best practices. If it seems like, if a lot of people agree you should do this, do it. And it doesn't hurt. So I would follow all this and put as long as you're not messing up what the product page looks like. Okay. You don't want to have you don't want to come down here and see a product description. And I've seen this before. You want it to look like this. You want it to make sense to people because this is a conversation with the customer. And you don't want to mess up the conversation with the customer by spamming a whole bunch of keywords. You know what I mean? Like if you can fit them in here, great. If it sounds good and if it goes along with the conversation. But I've seen people spam. I've seen them put a whole string of like random words in here and it's a turnoff. As a customer, it's a turnoff. And every time I see it, that particular page has like super high rank. I mean, or not ranked at all. So that does not work. Yeah. Yeah. So you always want to maintain that. Okay. Anything else, ma'am? Okay. Okay. Well, good. Thank you for hanging in there with me and while we were trying to get this this whole broadcast thing working. But I'm glad we did. And I'll once we get done here, it'll take a little while, but then I will I a little bit later today I'll be able to send you the recording so you'll have it in case you want to go back and review anything. Okay. All right, Marcy. I hope you have a great week. Okay. All right. Bye.